We are TRAITORS,
and this is musicfiends.com.
Hey everyone, Angela Alameda here with musicfiends.com. Today we are speaking with the band TRAITORS. They came all the way from Toronto, Canada, playing tonight in Dallas at 3 Links. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves and tell us what you do in the band?
My name is Sean Patrick Nolan, and I play synthesizers, and I do the sequencing and programming for TRAITORS.
I'm Sean as well, and I am the vocalist and guitarist of TRAITORS.
You're both named Sean. How confusing does that get?
I mean, there's pros to it, though, because you meet dozens of people at shows, and when you are just Sean and Sean, everyone's like, oh, I got it, it's easy. So it's helpful, but yeah, I don't know.
Sometimes when they do call our name and we both look, it's really strange, but it does, like Sean said, it definitely has perks, I think, in a weird way. It has some character, it's strange. You know?
Whenever someone calls, you both like turn around.
Yeah, and then they all laugh, and we're like, you just stop doing that.
Are you guys both originally from Canada?
Yeah, I mean, we are. I moved around a lot when I was young, and lived in a lot of different countries. I lived in England. Yeah, but Canada, yeah, we're both born and raised in Canada.
Yeah, Toronto for me. I still live in Toronto. It's my home, so yeah.
The funny thing is now it feels like that almost isn't home now, because we're always somewhere else and being like, is this new home? I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, that part is definitely changing a little bit for us. Just always being somewhere else. But I guess we, you know, in between the tour from Europe to America, we had 2 days. We flew home.
Oh, wow.
For 2 days and then flew right to the US. So like I said, it's kind of home. Like I just do laundry like that.
This is the least amount of time we've been home as long as we've been touring band. We were in Germany on a Sunday, we were in Toronto on a Monday, and then we flew to LA on Thursday. So we were in 3 different time zones in like a handful of days. So our bodies are just like, yeah, it's like, it's pretty, sleeping is tough, but yeah, so it's like, yeah, home, like Sean said, home is kind of not home at the moment. Home is everywhere else but my apartment in Toronto, but it's okay. It's pretty fun too, so.
Yeah, one thing I was going to mention is that you guys tour so heavily, and I wanted to ask, like, what is something that you guys do to help, like, keep your sanity and keep yourself grounded while you're
nothing,
so much?
Absolutely nothing. Just white knuckling on highways going, fuck, the whole time is kind of our coping mechanism, I think. Swearing,
yeah,
bad TV.
I think we had a system for a while. We tried a lot of different things. Nothing really seemed to work. So now, I mean, I've tried it all, like, especially with the flying. I don't sleep on anything that moves. Like, seriously, like, I could be up for 3 or 4 days. We could fly, I'm up. The traveling is really tough for us. We're never in the hotel long enough to enjoy anything or get some real proper sleep, so we're just always, I don't know, like, we do a lot of, I guess, like, I do a lot of ginger shots, and I don't know, we tried to somewhat stay healthy, but it never really works. There's only so many, like, Monster Energy drinks that unhealthy you can have. You put yourself in it, you reserve a little bit of yourself for the show, I think, is what I find I do. It's like my whole day can consist of just being tired and lethargic and run down and just not in the right state of mind, but as long as we keep that little bit of ourselves for the shows, then that's all that matters.
I think another thing too is, at least that I've been doing, is sort of like slowing down how I'm experiencing things, because I think on tour it's just like, it's very easy to get caught up in it, and a month will go by and you won't even really process anything that's happening. And now I think it's really important, like if we do have time, we'll try to like go into town, we'll try to see or experience whatever is going on in whatever city we're in. We're very fortunate to have been touring in over 20 countries in the last few years, so we'll try to make time, go to like an art exhibit, or go, in Europe there's so many, like you can visit, like there's castles just like there's Starbucks here, so it's kind of neat to just like go like, oh, if you just walk like 800 meters, you can go see this like thing from the 12th century or something. When we're not on tour, it's something that I enjoy doing, is just like picking a place and visiting it and just sort of, seeing non-touristy things and just trying to get a sense of like what the actual energy of the city is like. So I think that's also something that kind of helps us appreciate the fact that we're, not everybody can go to these places. And like, I didn't get to travel a lot when I was younger. So we're very fortunate to do that. And that, in that sense, it's worth the sleeplessness and kind of your appetite being all over the place. So it's just like that. And like reading, like, especially in the States, like I like finding like Sean will we'll go to record stores, and I like finding these old quirky bookstores and buying old chapbooks and things like that. So these are kind of little small things we can kind of take for ourselves back home.
Yeah, we've been like collecting things, like, he's in the bookstores, I'm in record stores or whatever. We went to the gas station, which is like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where they filmed them. We went there, and I was like, okay. So I mean, you get to take a little bit of those experiences with you.
Do you guys plan on like continuing this type of like vigorous tour schedule, or do you plan on slowing down and maybe taking a break anytime soon?
we had a very funny conversation in queue before going through customs to get to, and we were just at the end of it, like, just like, it was just a long day, and it was very, like, when you travel with gear, I don't think people understand, like, when it's like the third time where people are swabbing my synth and my sampler and they're taking all my cables out, it's just like, you're just exasperated. And so at that time we were like, no, we're not doing any more shows, we're done. But then all of a sudden we're just like, yeah, but it's in Barcelona, so maybe, like, wouldn't it be cool to go play there? So we're victims of our own, like, not ambition, but like our just like us, like, we'll do it. Like, if it makes sense, we'll do it. And it's kind of like a strike while the iron's hot sort of a thing.
Seriously, I think we literally broke up in that line. We were like, from the queue to get through to LA, from the beginning, we were sitting there, we both had our stuff. I'm like, if we just did, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, then we just won't. And he's like, nope. And then by the time we get to the end, we're like, no, it's okay. We're all right. We're okay.
We're actually good. So that's a part of it. It's just kind of,
it's not always healthy, right?
Yeah, because it's also like when you're tired, it's like your brain is just like a mess. It's like just like, just all like you're not yourself, and like, in our private lives it's very different. Like, you have to socialize with people, and like, we're very introverted and kind of quiet at home, so it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just like, it's just overstimulated all the time. And so your brain will go to strange places, but it doesn't last that long though. You always find a way out of the darkness at some point, I think.
Well, at least obviously it's something you're passionate about, something that you love, so it's good that you're able to do that and you're able to have all of these experiences.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. To be able to, share your art and connect with people who are also, like, very thoughtful about, how they listen to or consume art and media. It's amazing. It's like, it's really the coolest thing. Like, we couldn't ask for anything more than that, really.
Since you guys tour so heavily, and you're kind of like experts at this point, what is one thing that you think every band should have on their rider, like on their tour rider? It's like really random, but
fruit, like real food, not chips, like bananas, tangerines, like stuff that actually has vitamins in it. I think is very important, because it's just the steady diet of pizza, potato chips, is like, you'll just.
Yeah.
McDonald's at 3 a.m. because you didn't eat since like 4 p.m. or something.
What's strange about that, though? You get the fruit bowl and you're like, I don't want fruit, but you really have to. I don't know. That's a strange one for us. I'm a big pineapple juice guy. So I was always putting that in the rider a lot, especially like singing. I do like try to do like the lemon ginger tea, like the real lemon and ginger. I don't know. I think that all those things are really important because everything just comes down so fast. You can get sick so fast. Like, it's really scary.
That happened earlier. Like we had to, like Sean got bronchitis earlier in the year, and we had to. It was the first time we had to like actually like postpone shows. Yeah, and it's like it's just because your body is just telling you like, dude, stop, please. Yeah.
You don't want to listen. You're just like, go, 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 go.
That's dangerous with shows because it's like we'll be like half asleep and then it'll be like, okay, we've got 5 minutes, and then you sort of stretch a little bit, and then you've just got this surge of adrenaline and you're like, I feel superhuman. I feel great. And that crash later is coming, and it is, but it's like, that's the lifestyle. That's sort of how it is. So whatever, we just kind of roll with it. Yeah.
Since you guys have been able to play in so many different countries, is there any, like, one show in particular that stands out to you as being memorable?
The one that always comes to mind is we played Castle Party in Poland, and it's literally like they set the stage next to a castle, I believe from the 12th century, and we played in the afternoon on a Sunday, and it was so hot, but the sight lines that you have from stage, like it's literally the side of this old castle, and the dressing room is at the very top of it, so it feels like Game of Thrones or something when you're just like, we were doing this the do 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 as we're like going up the stairs and everything, like stuff like that is surreal. So that's one thing. But like, I don't know, like we just played in Phoenix a few days ago, and it was like in San Antonio, Texas too. It's just like there's something, the crowds were so like locked in, or like Mexico City was same way. We were supporting Lebanon Hanover there. And it's like, it's a different kind of passion for music that we hadn't really experienced before. And same with Sao Paulo, Brazil. We were in February, and it's like, I don't know, man. It's like the way that the people how warm the reception is like, it's incredible.
I always go back to like Pleasence in Leipzig, because when we very first started in going on tour to Europe, there was just these little really hot, like really hot, sweaty clubs, and just it was just the beginning for us, and the excitement for us in ourselves was you almost pinch yourself, like, where are we, how are we doing this, why are we here? And it always sticks with me because it was just such an early start for us, and it started so fast. And I think for me that was like a very like humble beginning, like where I was, I just felt so out of my element and so right at the same time.
I personally love being at shows where you can just feel like the energy from the crowd, and like being in the crowd. I love that because I don't like being in a crowd where everyone is just standing there and there's like energy. It's just like, I want everyone to be in it.
Yeah. The way Sean and I perform is like we leave like everything, like we put, it's a full cathartic experience, and in the hopes that people that are watching us are getting some kind of that similar feeling from it. And it's the same for us. Like I can think of some of my favorite shows that I've gone to when I was younger, and it's that same thing where it's just like for an hour or an hour and a half, I'm not here, I'm somewhere else. Because we go through that on stage. The best shows are the ones that feel like they're over in like 10 seconds, and you're just like, how did that even happen? It's the same for us being on stage. It's a similar experience as the audience members as well, I guess.
I love that. I want to talk about your song Thin Flesh. It's your most popular song that was on the Butcher's Coin album that was released in 2018. It has over 10 million streams on Spotify, which is incredible. And something very exciting happened recently. Your song was featured in the new remake of the Crow movie. Mm-hmm. How did that happen? And like, how are you feeling now that it's out?
Yeah, that was really strange.
The exciting part was Thin Flesh has had a second resurge a bit, strange about that track. I mean, like when it was released in Butcher's Coin and we were recording it, it was with our producer Josh, and we were saying, I think this is the single. Like we were still like unsure. We just were not You know?
Josh knew though. Josh Carodi. Shout out to Josh Carodi. Nail biter. He's our guy, and he knew. You finished. You were doing your vocal. You were in the booth, and I was sitting there, and he's like, "You got something here," and we really trust his ear for things. So I always remember that. We always kind of intuitively knew that it was there was something in that track, and it's just sometimes it takes things a while to, because it wasn't like it was fine, like it did okay, like it was always popular live when we'd play it and people liked the song, but it wasn't like it didn't go viral or anything. It was kind of, it had very sort of like modest numbers for the views and stuff, and it's really, it was during COVID. It's just like all of a sudden it's just like every day I'm like we wouldn't even pay attention to our Spotify numbers because it would just be like perpetually at like 13,000 monthly listeners or something, and like all of a sudden it's just like it's going up like 1,000 a day, and I don't know what's happening, and it never dropped, and we are just kind of like it doesn't, it's like there's a almost like a detachment from it, like it doesn't seem totally real, like it's happening. And same with like The Crow. So to get to your question about so basically, I woke up one morning and I was having coffee with my life partner, and I was just going through message requests on Instagram, and I saw one, and it said, "I'm a music supervisor for The Crow, and we'd like to have Thin Flesh." Or at the time it was Mouth Poisons. That was the first choice was Mouth Poisons, and then it turned into Thin Flesh. And I just thought it was spam. I'm like, there's no, like, you're just, someone created like a dummy account and they're trying to troll me or something. So I read they sent a website. I read the whole thing 3 times. And I didn't even tell Sean because we were rehearsing that day. And when I realized it was legit, I just texted him. I'm like, okay, when I meet you in the Uber to go to our rehearsal space, there's some good news that I'm going to tell you, and just be happy. And eventually it was just a matter of, putting them in contact with our publishers, and then everything else kind of took care of itself. But it's crazy. As a huge fan of the original film, it's really, it means a lot to be attached to it. You
guys have mentioned before that you are big fans of The Cure and that your music has been inspired by The Cure. Is there any songs in particular that stand out to you the most?
What, Charlotte Sometimes?
That's mine.
Yeah.
I always, Charlotte Sometimes was everything to me. I was a big fan of that track. I'm also like kind of a fan of some of the, the more obscure B-sides and stuff, like obviously Faith and Pornography and incredible. But I find also like I'm a huge fan of the Smiths. I love Interpol, kind of just taking in different elements here and there. And for The Cure, it's like sometimes because people are like, oh, you got a Cure-ish vibe, I always try and like, okay, I'm not gonna listen to The Cure like right now at all, because I don't need any more Cure influence. But they they're just fantastic. They really, really, really are.
What do you think about the new song that came out today?
We were kind of holding off.
Okay.
And when I first woke up, I'm like, we're going to drop it. We're going to listen. And we did not do that yet. Oh. So it's kind of like, I have something to kind of look forward to.
I want to be in the right headspace to listen to it. But we have to listen to it together, I think. Like, I think that's important. So we will get to it, but we're going to let it marinate a little bit.
Question for you, did you listen to it?
I did, on the way here, actually, because I wanted to be prepared.
Damn it, we didn't do our homework. I'm sorry. I've been, and even comments. I'm trying to avoid seeing, but I've seen little comments here and there, and people are just like, dude, they're back. I get excited thinking that they're back and that they're gonna come with like their best foot forward. That makes us excited as artists and as songwriters ourselves to be like, okay, let's get our working boots on. Like this is, like we are still inspired by older artists and current artists, and I think it's really important to kind of keep that symbiotic relationship going. So I think it's like, I want them to come out with like a great record, and I want New Order to come out with a great record, and the next Interpol record to be excellent. Like that's, it gets us excited to when we have to come back to our own music and start writing and working on stuff. It's like, it's the best. You get a real buzz from it too, as a fan and as a artist as well.
Definitely. Which brings me to my next point, because your last album was released in 2021. Are you guys working on new music right now? Are there plans to release new music anytime soon?
Well,
How do you unplug this? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, yes, we are, and we have. We're just kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern right now. We are and have been working very, very extensively on our new record.
We have tons of material written and that we're working on currently, so it's a matter of time. Like it's coming. Yeah, for sure.
Well, we will look forward to that. All right, and that's all the questions I have for you guys. So,
Okay.
thank you so much for talking with me today. Is there any last thing that you would like to shout out?
Everybody who's coming to our shows, thank you. Like, I can't explain how incredible some of the experiences have been. The emotional connection we're making and what I'm hearing people tell us is really, it's inspiring, and it's like I get goosebumps even just thinking about it. So whoever's coming to our shows and supporting us, and we wouldn't be here in Dallas if it wasn't for people actually coming and supporting us and being so generous with their time and their like buying a T-shirt or anything that you've done is really helpful. So from the bottom of our hearts, we really appreciate all of that. So thank you. And as long as people want to keep hearing our music and seeing us live, we will keep doing it forever.
Will you guys shout out your social media so that everyone can follow you?
Yeah, so I guess Instagram's the main one. @TRAITORS Official is our Instagram. Facebook, we're TRAITORS on there. And
Thank you guys so much for watching musicfiends.com, and we will see you guys next time.